Ladies and gentlemen, you are on the air. No, you're actually not. This is Prep 15. This is the first part of your prep, which is the understanding the results. This is extremely challenging, and this is not going to be easy for you. So the more notes you take and the more seriously you take this video, the better you are going to be able to diagnose and interpret your results, which is something that historically students have struggled with. So let's get started. Hopefully you have the username and password for your Typeform so you can follow along with me and kind of see what you're supposed to do. And basically what you want to do is open up the survey that you want to open up. Now I'm going to open up a random survey that I made a while ago, but I'm going to be referencing a survey that the Four Musketeers did actually last year. So thanks to Harper Haley for sending that along so that I could look at his live reports and also his Excel document. All right, so the first thing that you want to do, you're not going to write anything down yet, but you want to remember how to actually get your results. So you got to click on Analyze, okay? The first thing I want you to do is go to Reports, and I want you to get the link for the live results. Now, this link is only going to show you the questions that were either multiple choice, rating, or the opinion as well. But the short answer ones, you'll have to get through Excel. But what's important is you get this link, and you can copy it, and guess where you paste it? Boom, right here in your Google Doc where it says provide the statistical results from Typeform. What's cool about this is now that you can check the data of your survey. Now again, this is just the opinion, this is just the rating, and just the multiple choice, okay? But what's cool is you can see this very quickly, and all you gotta do is click on your Google Doc. How cool is that? So make sure you do that. All right, and don't write this down, just do this, okay? Now the next thing you wanna do after you do that is actually we have to download the Excel document. This is when we start talking about interpreting the data. Okay, so when you click on the results, again, we're still in Analyze, you got to hit Download, okay? And what's going to happen is it's going to ask you, do you want XLSX or CSV, and you want XLSX. And when you download it, guess what? It's going to look like this, and you're going to feel like that. Got to throw some humor in here. Everyone loves Home Alone. This is going to freak you out. You're going to be like, oh my God, Adam, how am I supposed to make sense out of this? Well, I'm going to show you. So for question 1A, this is what I want you to write down. You need to clean up the Excel document by first getting rid of all the data. So anything that has a number, guess what? You will delete it. So you will highlight it, and you are going to right click and you hit delete, and you want to delete an entire column. Boom, it's gone. All we want are the open-ended questions. So get rid of all the data and then get rid of anything that is not an open-ended question. So we've got start date, submit, network ID. Get rid of this because all it's going to do is get in our hair, okay? Now the next thing I want you to do is delete this part over here because that is really, I don't know what that is actually. And then where it says freshman, sophomore, senior, you can get rid of that. Gender, you can get rid of that too. You know why? Because that's data and that's gonna show up where? You guessed it. It's gonna show up in your live statistical results. Look at that, sophomore, senior, gender, how long ago. Any opinion, any multiple choice, and any rating will show up in your live statistical results. The only thing in Excel that you want is your open-ended questions or short answer questions, whatever you want to call them. All right, so now you're probably asking yourself, Adam, I still have a ton of stuff going on here. Absolutely. Let me delete this so I can clean this up for you. Now, they only had 2 open-ended questions or short answer questions, and so that was kind of problematic in helping them out, but that's okay. The next thing that you're going to want to do is highlight the rest of the columns of your Excel document, okay? And there's this thing right here that says wrap text, and I want you to hit wrap text. And what's cool about that is that now it's a lot more manageable. Now you can actually see everything that's there. So what I just did was change this so that it's a little bit easier for me. Now I have the 2 questions right here, okay, because that's the top. I'm gonna bold that, and then I have all the answers right here. All right, so that's the first step. So that is question 1A, okay? Clean up all the data by getting rid of the data that you can see in the live statistical reports form, and then anything else that is not a short answer question. So make sure you do that. That's the first thing that you need to do. The second thing you need to do is copy each question separately, okay? So I want the results of all short answer question, and you copy it, and this is where it gets fun. Unfortunately, you have to set up a new Google Doc for each short answer question, and the reason why, I'll tell you in just a minute. But all I'm going to do is paste it in here, and you can see it pasted here, so now I can see it all. The reason why you do it in this is because then when I tell you to go to Tagxedo and try to make some word clouds, guess what's going to happen? You're going to copy and paste it into Tagxedo from the Google document. And you know what's crazy, folks? I don't know why, but this is the only way that you can, this is the only way that you can copy and paste information into Tagxedo. If you try to do it through Excel, guess what? It's not going to work. And so I'm going to show you how to do this in just a minute. But then I just remembered that Tagxedo sucks and it doesn't work through Google Chrome. So I'll actually just kind of show you right now. You'll have to use Safari or something other than Google Chrome because guess what? I don't know why, but Tagxedo does not like Google Chrome. All right, so when we're in Tagxedo, guess what? We hit Create, and then this is going to load up, hopefully. Again, we have already copied one of the questions from the Excel document, or the answers from one of the short answer questions from the Excel document into a Google Doc. And now all we're going to do is copy it from the Google Doc, which I haven't done yet, I just realized. And we're going to paste it into the Tagxedo word cloud. What's cool about this is if you do one word cloud per question, it might give you the important ideas. So then I'm going to hit submit. I'm going to move my clicker, and you see this little line, this green line. It's moving, it's moving, it's moving, it's coming. Touchdown! There it is. Now, that's not enough, actually. What you have to go from there is you have to go to Word Layout Options, and you have to go to Skip, and you've got to find all the words that maybe you don't want in there that's going to stop you from actually getting the main themes. Because this is really the third part of question 1. You have to look for the themes, okay? So you want to try to find the major ideas that is essentially coming up in your short answer question. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find any words that maybe seem like they're going to get in my way. Now this question was all about why you change majors. And so obviously we don't want anything about the major. We don't want verbs like wanted. I don't know what BC is. Anyway, you get the point. So you go through and you click on all the words that you think are going to skew the data. And then you hit accept. And the reason why is because what this is going to do, it's going to make the largest words the words that came up the most in your short answer question. And unfortunately, you can see this didn't work too well except for this word right here, boring. That is a huge reason why people actually change their major. If you look at the question, if you change your majors, what did you switch from and why? That was probably a bad question because we have all these different types of majors: journalism, nursing, management, operations, kinesiology. But the words passionate and the words boring come up, and that is the key. We know then that the reason why people are changing their major is because they're passionate about something and or the major that they were originally in was boring. So that can help you. And then if you want to export this, of course, you're going to have questions and you're going to say, Adam, how the heck do I do this? You hit save share. You pick the image you want, and just the bigger the size that it is, it's going to ask you where you want to save it. You can just turn this into, we'll say question 1. Boom, I saved it. You can press cancel there, and you are all set. Okay. All right, so I know that seems like a lot, and you're probably like, oh my gosh, show me this again? Yeah, absolutely. But just remember that you have to copy each question into a separate Google Doc, okay? And the reason why is because the Tagxedo creator will not work with Excel for some reason. If you try to copy it from Excel, it won't work. I know a lot of you are going to try to do that, and I'm going to say it was in the video, and you're going to say, Adam, I didn't watch the video because your videos take too long, and I got a life, and I got time to listen to you make stupid jokes. I'm going to be like, yeah, I know. It makes sense. You got a life. I don't. All right. So if you're confused, Q1C was you're looking for themes, okay? So when you're looking at the short answer questions, you want to look for those themes and ask yourself, what's going on in these short answer questions? What are we seeing? What reoccurring themes are going on? Well, using a word cloud we found in that first question, guess what? It was the fact that they weren't passionate about something or the major was boring, okay? All right, so I know that seems like a lot, and it's like, holy cow, Adam, what is going on? How do we do all this? Just don't worry, you're going to do this. You got 3 other people to help you out. All right, let's go back to the live report because this is the last part of question 1. When you're going through all these, all these graphs, essentially, all you gotta do is just go through and ask yourself 2 questions. Okay, what's most surprising? Question mark, and what is most interesting? Okay, that's all you gotta do. So that's Q1D. Okay, what is most surprising about the actual data itself? Again, we're looking at the general live report. And 2, what's most interesting? Okay, so this is really interesting right here. This question right here: is the major career path you is this the major / career path you've always dreamed of? 71% said no. Holy cow. So that means that guess what? People are changing their major. So we add that with one of the questions that we got from the Excel document, which was, if you switch your majors, why? And we find it's because it's boring or you're not that passionate. So then guess what? That leads us to the metaphor. Now this is oversimplified. You're not going to be able to figure it out that quickly. But guess what? I had the document from the 4 Musketeers, so I was able to cheat and look at how they went through all the results. And guess what they came up with for the metaphor? Finding your passion is like a maze. You end up taking the wrong turn before you've learned where to walk. So what does that tell you? That tells you that you've got to make wrong turns or choose different majors before you find the one you're most passionate about. That makes sense. We can wrap our heads around that problem. People are changing their major a lot because they find out that through experience, guess what? We're just not all that passionate about it. But how can you know if you're passionate about something if you haven't tried it out yet? Well, guess what? That's where the maze comes in. You got to walk around a little bit, right? And even though your parents are like, no, you got to choose a major right now and get out of here in 4 years, you know, you got to tell them, you got to say, Adam Barricado says that's a bunch of bull crap. And then they're like, who's Adam Barricado? I want him fired. And then I'm going to end up on the street. So maybe you want to rethink that. All right, all joking aside, I know this was really quick, and I know this went through things and maybe in a confusing fashion. So let's just go through. Q1A, this is what you're supposed to do. When you download that Excel document, you got to clean up all the data. Get rid of anything that has a number by it, gender, and the only thing that you want to keep actually is the actual major, okay? So don't erase the part about the major because you'll actually have to copy and paste those. This was last year. I made some adjustments since then, and so it's probably a little bit confusing. You want to get rid of anything in the Excel document that the statistical data report is going to show you. Unfortunately, because they're going to write the major themselves, it won't show up in this actual thing, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. Question 1B is make sure you copy and paste the response to each question in a separate Google document. Okay, and the reason why is because we want to try to put those into a word cloud, and we do that by going to load. We copy and paste it in here from the Google Doc. Then we go to word layout options, and we go to skip, and we click any of the words that we know are going to stop us from finding the major themes, which is question 1C. Look for the major themes in your short answers. What things are reoccurring? The word cloud does a really nice job of showing us the words that come up the most. So the larger the word is, the more it came up. And then finally, for question 1D, look for the most interesting data and look for the most surprising data so that you can help, so that you all can understand what the major problem is. And that takes us to question number 2, which is using metaphors, which I'm going to explain below this video, okay? Again, I know this is a lot and you might be confused, but guess what, folks? When you come to class next time, you are going to be going through this and I will walk around and help you. This is a challenging task, so I hope that you have lots of data for the next time we meet, so that way we can go through this together and hopefully you'll have an idea what your problem is so you can begin brainstorming. All right, don't forget to scroll down and learn about metaphors or similes. You can call it whatever you want. And I will hopefully see you soon, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching and listening. You're now off the air. Talk to you soon.